Okay, so for this project, we find ourselves yet again on my living room floor. It's the only space I have that's big enough to actually hold a giant piece of leather. Anyway, so you can't really see the lines in this, but I kind of sketched out my general shape. The back's going to be solid piece, kind of see there. My main thing is I'm going to have, I'll probably have something at the beginning so you know what you're actually making. But one large bag here, a smaller one here, and a slightly smaller bag sitting on top of that one. I have the front of the big bag here. You can actually see these lines pretty well. My basic strategy is my main bag is going to be leather on the front. The bottom of it is a strip of leather. I have that to where it's the same size as the zippers I bought. Can't prove I got them at Walmart. And then this part here will be, of course all this will be folded. This will have holes punched in where it will stitch in to my big chunk. Smaller bag here. Yeah, don't mind all those. I know what those mean. So, anyway. My basic strategy for the outside, of course, the top is going to have a zipper. And I have this canvas that I got for a different project. Don't mind the cat here. The cat got onto this while I was drawing those out. Anyway, so after that, I'm also going to cut out some kind of lids that, fold over. I'm going to have it here where I'm going to have these, probably have 2 holes punched with slits in for my belt. Again, I'm making this to replace a bag that I've been using for a while. If you've watched some of my other videos, you've probably seen a lot of my tests. Because, skirts usually don't have pockets. So, bags are kind of handy. I like one strapped on because, purses have a habit of having things stolen out of them where I work. So, having your stuff with you at all times is kind of handy. Anyway, I think that just about covers everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get my box cutter, put a new blade in it, and start cutting things out. While definitely not watching the Hellstring Bridge on YouTube. Those are hilarious. Not related to what I'm doing, but, it's good background music and hilariously funny. Yeah, I don't know what you can see on the camera, but this is stupid thick. This is why I'm using the canvas for the sides instead of making the full thing out of leather. A lot of bags that seem similar to mine actually use a similar thing. Kind of gives it a apocalyptic look as opposed to, like a Louis Vuitton leather bag. Because I don't buy name brands. Ever. Well, not for clothes anyway. So, that's basically it. Box cutter, cut it out. I'm going to cut out the rest of the stuff and then take a skiver around the edges to kind of, make it look a little nicer. Then go from there.
They will plan around our plan, and so we shall in turn plan around the plan that they are planning around our plan. Your brilliance knows no bounds. And regardless, we have one advantage that they solely lack. Zeppelins! beach movie since Jaws.
There's something wrong with this beach.
It's an intense, unrelenting thriller.
Okay, now that everything is cleaned up, I guess, I'm gonna punch holes in it so I can actually, stitch it together, because I'm not strong enough to stick a needle through leather without using a hammer first. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Anyway, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take these pieces, put the holes all the way around here, using this. I'd recommend one that doesn't have these, more just little prongs instead of this stuff. It's what I can get a hold of, it works, but the holes are a little larger than they probably need to be. Gonna do that on all of these, and of course put a row here. These will actually be stitched directly into my base. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace these, where I put them on here, so I can line the holes up. They don't really have to line up too well because, well, it's gonna be fabric stitched in between them, so that's not really an issue. Besides the bottoms here, which they're going to have to line up because, yeah, it's gonna be stitched on directly onto that. So, I'm gonna go ahead and hammer in a bunch of holes. This is not gonna be fun. Okay, just do that with all other pieces. Okay, now that I have everything, full of holes, I'm gonna take this bowl of water that my cat really wants to play in, and take the bottoms here and bend them. I also made these lids, just basically the same thing, cut them out, bend them over. When you just take plain untreated leather, you can take water and it'll actually bend things. It actually works pretty well. It doesn't really harden them up like a lot of people say it does. I mean, it does some, of course, but not near. It doesn't make it solid. So, there's usually other chemicals that do that. So, yeah, I'm going to take these and bend them over so everything can be stitched on here. Bend over my kind of lids that I'm going to use. As well as take this small bag here and, where did I set that? Give it a nice stamp. And once I get that done, before I stitch anything, I'm going to dye all of it. Just a flat black, nothing special there. I won't film that, just make sure you wear gloves. And while the dye is drying, I'm going to not glue, I don't know why I keep saying glue, this requires no glue. I'm going to stitch the canvas and these zippers together using a sewing machine. go. Kind of something like that. Do that with all of these, then stamp that. Yeah. Usually once it's wet, it kind of holds its shape too. So, yeah, just gotta do the rest of these.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I have to do something to make this video somewhat interesting. Whoops. That's why I cut it extra thick. Well, anyway, I think you get the point. This is going to take a while, because I still have to do the other side of this, plus those two. So, I'm going to shut the camera off and go finish stitching this up off camera. Because since everything's black, you really can't see much anyway. Okay, please excuse the messy desk behind me. It's my inside workbench that I don't really use much during the summer. I was using it for this project, though. Not important. Anyway, so I've actually finished this probably a few weeks ago now, and I've been using it ever since. So, yeah, this is going to be uploaded in maybe a few hours from me saying this, and I actually finished the project several weeks ago. Anyway, I just kind of had a belt that I've been using for a long time. Works pretty well. I made the pouches a little small because I wanted to hold my cell phone, and as anyone knows, modern cell phones are huge. So, they don't fit into much. Especially when you have a, solid case around it. But other than that, it holds up pretty well. It's scuffed up a little bit. As you can see, it's actually most for my seatbelt. And, yeah. But other than that, it holds up pretty well. And I'm almost ready to replace it with something else because a better idea came along. But anyway, so it's just kind of a fun, different project. If this really wasn't what you usually, subscribe for, that's fine. I've got some stuff you're probably going to enjoy coming up here. I'm not going to spoil it, but I have some projects I think you're going to like. They have some pop to them here in a couple weeks. So, I hope to see you then, and hope you enjoyed.